Wir wünschen Stiftung Ummeln Flex von schwer psychisch gestörten Menschen. Sie haben die Strecke, die ich gemacht habe, dargestellt. Die haben wirklich Monate gebraucht, weil sie nicht in der Größenordnung belastbar sind. Und das ist ihr Werk und sie sind total stolz und können es kaum abwarten, dass ich das poste. Und jedes Mal kriege ich immer so, nee, gut, wann sind wir so weit? Ne? Und ich sage, Augenblick, ich bin noch nicht da. Aber
ist das Wappen von Lappeenranta?
ja. Und unser Dörfchen ist in Holz.
Genau, das ist mit der Kirche.
Süß, ne? Ja. So, und hier haben sie dann natürlich in den Lieblingsfarben der Finnen, da haben sie recherchiert und haben gesagt, die Finnen lieben auch Farbe, aber es ist bestimmte Farben, die sie mögen. Und dementsprechend haben sie das kreiert. Ich habe das Gleiche zu Hause, nur andersrum. Genau.
Ja, super schön. Toll gemacht, auch die Form von dem Holz. Das ist
Ja,
echt klasse.
also so viel Arbeit drin, ne? Aber das kommt alles später, was ich da als dokumentieren habe. Hier haben wir natürlich noch Skulpturen. Ich wollte die nicht ignorieren, aber ich dachte, wir machen mal so viel.
We're having small catering. It's very small. We didn't have a budget, so it's kind of performative. We have the saying,
catering.
yeah, we have the saying in Finland, like when you take raisins out of the bun, which means like you just take the best parts.
Yeah, we have the same saying in Germany.
Okay.
Die Rosinen aus dem Kuchen picken.
Yeah.
To take out the raisins out of the
Yeah.
cake.
Yes. So when everyone has taken the raisins, then like enough raisins for everyone.
But the context always makes the meaning, because it depends if you like raisins or not.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have the possibility to take the chocolate.
That's true.
Yeah. So you are free. Näitä saa ottaa. Näitä saa syödä. Tämä on tarjoilu. Yes, please.
But it's a wonderful exhibition.
Thank you.
For having the opportunity to see all your work. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun. We have great artists. It was really difficult to make the picks.
Yeah, I can imagine. Are you also cooperating, not just with this exhibition, but also in other ways? You are in an artist group, or yes? Or no?
Together or like?
Yeah.
No.
Everyone is working for himself, and you just come together. How did you find each other?
Okay. Now I understand what you asked.
She's the guilty.
I'm the glue.
Okay.
So Kaakon Taide, who I work for, has 5 member organizations, and one of them, for example, is the Art Association of South Karelia, and most of our members come from that organization. So when Kaakon Taide has exhibition or any event, I send the message to our partners, like, hey, please apply, and then I get to pick from the best of the best.
Yeah.
So my job is easy.
It's just like this.
Yeah, it's like this. I get to pick the raisins out the bun.
The raisins.
So it's kind of a large organization in this area, but also like small enough so it's like warm and close. It's easy to work together, and you get to know all the people and what they do. And this is the biggest art organization and visual, in terms of visual art in this area, and the only one in Finland that operates in 2 districts. So we also do work like nationwidely, but most of our work
Is in the region.
Yeah.
Do you have also in the region artist groups? For example, in Aachen, where I do come from, they have, for example, an organization of female artists that work cross-border in our border region, triangle they call, because there are Dutch, Belgian and German artists, but all coming out of our Aachen region, and they're also cooperating, sometimes also making pictures together, not just joint exhibitions, but also that they work hand in hand on the same picture. So this bringing around an artwork, discussing beforehand in which direction it should go, and everyone brings in his own aspects into a picture. And I think that was also quite interesting to see that, how that can work.
One of our members, Kunstvereins that does jewelry art. So they operate nationwide, but the Kaakon Taide members of that association are the ones who live here. So, but it works, they like nationwide, and they just had event in Oulu, in like northern Ostroponia. So it's kind of a bigger thing, and we do work with other groups as well. And usually the artist groups in Finland are quite small, so we need to cooperate quite a bit to get anything done.
Which kind of support do you get for working art? You said that budgets also to support artists are cut. And
Yes. Well, Kaakon Taide applies for grants from the government. So that's like our main funding. We are a non-profit organization, so this is not a big business. But we basically apply grants, and next year we are doing this thing where we develop digital like artist visits to the patients who are in home care, but it's done digitally. So this is kind of a new approach to how you activate the patients in home care, how to get more enrichment in their lives, and that is something we got a huge grant this year, and we are doing it like hands-on next year. So we have those kind of things that our funding comes from. Sometimes we get funding from the city of Lappeenranta or city of Kouvola or Kotka, the biggest cities in the area, but those are usually quite small. The cities don't fund art and culture very well, and it is a problem. But you know, their budget is being cut, so they cut their funding from everything. So it kind of it's a tricky situation. Like you don't otherwise. It's difficult to make a living. And right now we have the School of Applied Arts here. That is now threatening to move the study of visual arts to Lahti, which is like 200 kilometers away, which would be devastating for Lappeenranta. The only reason why this area is so rich in visual arts, because we have an institution that teaches visual arts, and there are a lot of young people coming here, and it's cheap to live here, and you know.
Are schools also supporting more than in other regions visual arts, or?
Sometimes the support for visual arts is very small. It's kind of the least supported art form, basically, because it doesn't bring the big money right away.
No, what I meant is to bring young people closer to art. Is there also a cooperation with schools, so that in schools young people get education also in arts? Or because I visited a school this morning and they told me that they have classes, cooking classes and handcraft classes and knitting and sewing classes.
Yeah.
And they have also art, they told me, but the question is, if you have so many artists also in the region, do you cooperate also with schools, or are the schools more closed shops?
They are quite close because the funding for the schools comes from the education budget, and the cities usually keep the education budget different from the culture budget, which is a problem. But yes, we do have art classes in schools, but then there's usually like a guide teacher that teaches art. And then we have copied the Icelandic model of bringing extracurricular events, like after school, every kid can have some kind of hobby after school for free, and sometimes our artists can get the chance to host those. But it depends from city to city and from school to school. I mean, they're trying, but they are trying to bring some kind of art education to students, but of course we think that it's not enough.
No. What we tried also in Germany is to open up the school systems also to sports clubs, to artists, to different, and I saw that during the Capital of Culture in Luxembourg. I don't remember. Why don't I remember the name of the city now? So less Esch, so less, in Esch, because they had, for example, artist house where they organized courses for pupils in the afternoon, and they brought the young children to this artist house, to this ateliers to teach them making arts, not just in the afternoon, but in project weeks, for example, of the schools and other things. So there was a strong linkage between the art scene in the city and the education system. But it was a pilot project. It's just started. It's not regularly like this. But I thought it was quite interesting to have this direct link, not just having an art teacher who is telling you in this century this was the type of making pictures, in this century you had this, and then you are painting your pictures and that's it. But really to have also a contact to people who make art as their profession, I think that's also a difference. But it's difficult to get this link, huh?
Yeah, and I just remembered many schools, perhaps hopefully every school, are part of this kind of culture path that runs through sometimes from the kindergarten to the 9th grade. So like every year the class gets to visit maybe an art museum or a concert or theater, something like that, or museums that are in the region, but it varies from city to city. In some cities it's kind of a mandatory, it's part of the education system, but in some cities it's kind of,
additional offer.
Yeah, so which means that not every kid gets that chance to go to the museum from school. And because if the school doesn't have money for the bus or something like that, then they often do not go. But I have worked previously in the city of Hämeenlinna, where the culture path was mandatory for every class. And it was kind of amazing. It took 8,000 kids to some kind of culture event every year. So they have recognized the importance of giving the kids the chance to participate in culture and going to the museum and going to the concert and being able to get these experiences, and recognizing the fact that not every kid goes to a museum from their home, but every kid goes to school, So when the school takes them to the museum, then they get the chance. So there's no like nationwide program for those kind of events. And I think there should be.
And now the government is cutting a lot of money from the culture.
Yeah.
They try to raise it till 1%, but
I
they...
fear that will also happen in the next multi-annual framework on the European level, because there are also the member states discussing on where do we have to spend money, especially with the new challenges we are facing in the global political situation. And I fear that they also will try to cut again in the Creative Europe program. And I will fight as much as possible against that, because I think if we lose our culture, why are we fighting for anything if we don't have our culture anymore? So,
That's true.
and when I take a look what's going on in Finland and in other, not in Finland, in Ukraine and in other countries that are under attack, they're also protecting their cultural identity, their cultural goods, because that is what makes us to identify ourselves also with our culture and with these aspects. I think that is so important that we keep that and that we don't give it away simply because other things seems to be more important. We saw that also during the Corona times when we couldn't make a lot. It was not just that the people were missing something in society or in their everyday living, but it had also an economical impact. Because what is very often not seen is that the cultural and creative sector is Europe-wide valid for nearly 5% of the GDP.
Yeah.
When it comes to event, when it comes to concert, when it comes to art exhibition, to cultural tourism and all these things, it's not just the value, the societal and personal value that is directly linked to culture and art. And our human being as such is always linked to culture and art, but it has also an economical impact, and that is very often forgotten when discussing about adequate funding. They are not thinking about that the car industry or the paper industry or the steel industry had to get support, but when it comes to support the cultural industries, it's always a difficulty. And I think there we have to also to raise awareness that it has two sides of the same medal, that it's on the one side a societal and a human being issue, and on the other side also an economical issue to support culture in an adequate form.
Yeah, in Finland it's 3% of the GDP, arts and culture. Now, the funding for arts and culture has always been really small in Finland, but if with that small funding we have gotten 3% of our GDP, like the hard money going back, then I think it's just really stupid not to fund more, because what would be the growth of economical aspects if the culture was properly funded. So I always think that it's so short-sighted and you know, like they don't understand that it is a profitable industry. Like if you only care about money, then why don't you put money where it will come back to you? So, it's worrying, and I sincerely do not know how. I'm not being dramatic. I sincerely do not know how Finland will recover from these cuts to the cultural budget. We have a bunch of other cuts going on right now, and I fear that it will shape our country in a way that is not great. There are masses of unemployed people right now. We have gotten, is it 50,000 new unemployed people in a year? Like companies going bankrupt, it's just devastating. I don't know what's left of this country.
But it's not this country. You see the same in Germany too.
Yeah.
That the competition worldwide and the rises of the prices of energy and everything. Also the burdens we made, partly also with documentation and everything, is not competitive anymore when it comes to worldwide competition. And Finland also is an exporting nation. And if we are not supporting, let's say, in a broad approach, our industries, but not with funding. It's not the funding alone, but to give them an environment that is more competitive and where they can start from new and also start new businesses and we have to rethink what we did in the last years with these very intensive controls of everything. We are not competitive anymore. It doesn't help.
And I think there's often talk about how art and artists are their own thing.
No, they are part of this. And art can also support the creativity in companies. Art can also, that is what I always said, when we want to be innovative, we need also the creative soul in everything. And I think that is something we have to think new.
Yeah, new ways of doing art and how to live as an artist. I agree.